Good morning. You know what today is? Hump day. Yep. Mike. So we're loading up our goals first thing in the morning. We're looking at our values. We're looking at our beliefs. And, so now what do? Well, let's always remember that the why is everything about this. Your big enough why makes it so that you can achieve all of these things. And the way to find your why, or the how to find your why, is to find your passion. What are you passionate about? What drives you? Now, sometimes people have a tough time finding that. They say, I'm not sure. They get trapped in their head. Remember, when we get in our head, we're dead. You got to stay in your heart. But if you get trapped and you're saying to yourself, I can't figure out what's driving me, then find what you hate. We're all good at that. Find what you hate and then do the opposite. Then that'll show you what drives you, and that will help propel you in terms of getting your why in accomplishing all of these things. Now, as we start to do all this, when we're doing our conditioning, so we're conditioning our goals, we're loading up all that stuff first thing in the morning, we're looking at where we want to go, not where we don't want to go. We're focusing on our outcomes, not what we're afraid of. Now we have to start conditioning that stuff. So during morning workouts is a great place to do this. And remember that we want to condition things, forward pacing. We want to think about what would life be like once we get all of these things accomplished? How will we feel when we get to that end? And do visual, audio, kinesthetic, do the whole thing. So what will I see? What will I look like? How will people look at me? How will loved ones look at me when I've accomplished this goal? What will I feel? How will it feel to go to bed at night feeling like this goal is accomplished? Remember when Roger Bannister ran that 4-minute mile, for a significant period of time, he had visualized himself accomplishing that goal. He would put himself in a peak state, and he would visualize himself crossing that finish line in under 4 minutes. And he did it again and again and again and again. And for his mind, there was no difference between actually doing it and visualizing at that intense level. And so that is how we condition ourselves in order to create an outcome. So during the morning workout, the morning walk, whatever you're doing, or if it's in the evening or whenever, you want to be in a peak state, so use your physiology, and then how will it feel? What will I see? What will I hear? What will I smell? Okay, do the whole thing. Yes, my cat is being like cats are in the morning. What is everything that's gonna be around you, and really feel it. The more that you can condition yourself to feel that this outcome has already happened, the more it's going to seem real in your brain, and then the easier it's going to be. And this creates momentum because it creates belief. As we visualize these outcomes, our body believes in these outcomes. As they believe in these outcomes, we're going to take better action. We're going to take more action. As we take more action, we're going to get better results. As we get better results, then that's momentum. That's that momentum chart that we've done before, where you've got the 4 quadrants, right? That's the wheel. What is the availability for human beings? What's the options that they have in order to accomplish? How much can a human being accomplish? Well, it's unlimited, okay? How much action do people usually take? Well, not very much, because they're usually operating out of fear. And if they don't take very much action, what kind of results do they get? Not very good. So what does that do? That leads them to not have a very good belief, because it creates a smaller outcome. This smaller outcome creates a smaller belief, so they take less action, they get a worse outcome, worse belief, less action, blah, da, 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 da. That's the cycle downwards. That's what we can get trapped in, especially when you're in the middle of a worldwide pandemic and things that are out of your control are taking over. But what can we control? We can control our response. The great thing about watching Undercover Billionaire, Millionaire Next Door is a great book, but the great thing about watching Undercover Billionaire is the certainty that he approaches that situation with. If you watch him, no matter what happens, he might be disappointed for a period of time, but not for long. And then he says, I'm going to figure this out. I mean, he has an absolute belief that he's going to figure it out. Now, he's already done it. He's already created $1 million over and over and over again. So he has a strong belief, but he was doing it in 90 days. I mean, think about what this guy tried to do. Drop me in the middle of any place in the country where I don't know anybody, any city. He had a bag of clothes, no toiletries, no nothing, no contacts. He had a phone that had no contacts in it, and a $100 bill and a truck. And he's going to create $1 million in 90 days. That was his goal. From $100, he didn't even have a place to live. He didn't even have the basic necessities. He had to go from basic necessities to the $1 million. But even when he was figuring out the basic necessities, he was thinking about, how am I going to get to this $1 million? And by the way, the original plan is not what happened. If you watch the show, remember, the car that you start out in is not going to be the car that you arrive in. That certainty is what carried him through. And he had such certainty that he got a team to work for him at an incredible level without paying them anything. And he didn't even have contracts with them. It was just on the idea that something was going to happen down the road. Now, he had cameras, so that was probably helpful. But even so, they still worked their tails off for months for no pay, not knowing the deal. Didn't know who he was. That shows you the certainty that he had. So that's the certainty that we all need to bring to our lives. And we do that through forward pacing. When you look at these goals as already done and really feel it, see what's around you, feel the feelings. How will others look at you? How proud will you be? What will you have created for other people? When you feel all of that, it becomes real. And then, so you've got ability, human beings' ability. What can they accomplish? Unlimited. When you have this belief that you're going to accomplish this result, now you take massive action, which means you get better results, which means it increases your belief as to what you can do, and then away you go. And that circle goes, and we keep going. That's the power of momentum, and that's the power of visualizing your outcomes and doing it every day. That's what we need to upload in our brains every day. That's where we need to start. What's our outcome? And really feel the feelings in terms of how we're going to feel when we're all done. Thanks for watching. Have a great Wednesday, everybody. I know it's a tough time out there, but this is exactly when the great ones are made. The best businesses and the most successful people are made during the toughest times. Remember, a diamond is a lump of coal that got put under enough pressure to become not only one of the prettiest things in the world, but also the strongest and most powerful. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. We're all in this together. Let's take care of each other.